Content warning. The following video may contain material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. I am not giving medical advice or telling others how to live their lives. This channel is for philosophical, ideological, metaphysical, and comedy purposes only. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm actually making this video sort of like an apology to religious people. I don't know if there's still any religious people watching my channel. I'm pretty sure there are. I mean, even if I still was Christian, I would find a channel like mine interesting. But, you know, I want to apologize. Like, look, at the end of the day, well, first I want to explain myself, why I'm so... Because I do sort of beat up on the Christians like a little extra. Like when I start talking about Jesus or Christians, I was Christian for a very long time. For those that don't know, maybe some new subscribers, I was Christian for like 15 years. It's all Kent Hovind's fault. That dude like convinced me that like this place was created by like God and that it was a pressurized system before the ice fell or the firmament broke or something happened. I don't know. There was some sort of catastrophe. But this was a pressurized system and things grew a lot bigger, and like his Age of the Earth videos were pretty fascinating. But he sort of converted me to Christianity. Now at that point, I knew something was fucked up with reality. I was like, man, what is this place like? Is this supposed to be our existence? Like this monotonous fucking Groundhog's Day repetition slave realm? Like this is reality. It just never made sense to me. I was like, so are these things walking around not like me? Is there something wrong with me? Maybe I'm different than the rest of these motherfuckers. So Christianity kind of gave me an avenue where I could hang out in. And it's like, okay, well, this makes a little bit more sense than, you know, we blowed up out of nothing. Like all the shit science was telling me made no sense to me. Evolution never made sense to me. I love watching Ken Hovind debate evolutionists. That's usually really funny, man. He'll debate three of them, 3-on-1 even. He does a good job of it too, but... Anyways, so the reason that I hate so much on religious people is because now from my current perspective, my current level of consciousness, now I haven't gone backwards, I've only gone forward. That means I've gone through the part where I was religious already and what I would consider now indoctrinated and scripted. I've already done all that. I'm done playing that cult's role. Now that I've moved past that in life, and again, I know I'm talking in like a condescending way, but that's the way I think now. I do sort of feel like, how long are you guys going to talk to the air and pray for the air to help you? It's like, man, when are y'all going to stop playing role-playing? Role-playing. You guys are role-playing. Put on some robes and carry around a druid staff. Pray to the air all you want. Man, it's just like, how long are y'all going to pray to nothing to save you? Are y'all ever going to try to save yourselves? Or are we ever going to come together? I'm not even talking about just humanity. Are we ever going to come together? Are y'all still so ape-fucking-minded and stupid that your Muslim hat makes you different than the Jewish hat, which makes him different than the Christian hat, if there is a fucking Christian hat that isn't a crown of thorns? I used to be a human being that would sit and talk to the air, begging it to make the existence that it forced me into better. Please get rid of, world hunger, get rid of war, get rid of suffering. Like, what am I praying to? The same thing that made the reality the way it is, like in the beginning. It's like, at the end of the day, like, let's be all be logical too. Even if we're Christian, it doesn't mean we have to act bizarre. But yeah, guys, just because you're Christian doesn't mean you now have to throw out logic. Like, and then if you're a Christian and you think logically, then it just doesn't work out at the end of the day. Because if you think logically, you start to question, okay, well, I'm begging to a God to save me from a realm that it created. Oh, this isn't its realm. It's the Archon's realm. It's like, okay, so can we just bypass the Archon? Because if it's God and it's got all the fucking power, why is there this middleman in between us that he can't just destroy the same way he created it? What the fuck are we talking about? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to be Christian and illogical, too, at the same time. It's like, that's why I hate the word faith now, too. The faith, the hopium, the fake, the faith. Faith is another word to say, I know what I'm talking about ain't for sure, but I'm still going to believe it anyway. It's just like, that's not a good idea. I wouldn't do that. Why would you do that? Why would you play a role-playing role? Why would you play a scripted role? So yeah, there's lots of arguments, and I could do this for hours, guys. I could literally do this for hours talking about. That's why there's so much. Well, again, you take 15 years of somebody's life. There is a lot of anger there now. I feel betrayed by God, if I'm being honest. I still feel like I'm supposed to be one of his soldiers. I don't know what that means, but for some reason in the back of my mind, I know I'm one of God's soldiers, and I know that I'm going to suffer in this existence. And that's what I came here to do. That's all I know. If there is a God, I'm fighting for good. I'm trying to wake people up or make people conscious. I'm doing the best I can at it. Oh, I can't say the best I can at it, to be honest. I feel so detached from this fucking reality. It is hard to give a shit about most anything anymore. I mean, being detached is actually less of a miserable experience. Like I say like that, unless you think like I'm miserable somewhere. But no, honestly, I'm much happier lately. Well, anyways, I don't want to start ranting about personal shit. Okay, so, but yeah, there's a lot of, well, this is personal shit. I'm talking about why I hate, like, or not hate, but like, well, yeah, I guess I do sort of hate fucking like Christians and the way they think and the way they behave. It's like, dude, can y'all quit talking to nothing? I'm right here. We're all right here. Why are we talking to fucking invisible people and then we hate other people's invisible people more than ours? And it's like, man, humanity, are you guys like fucking 4 years old consciously? What are you doing? Why are you playing these games? It's, man, I can't stand these fucking retards sometimes. Oh yeah, there's like, again, I'm sorry guys, 15 years of frustration with that shit. So, I mean, to know, not just to see somebody else doing it, to be the one doing it, begging for a better existence to some entity that never responded. What a silly existence. 15 years of my fucking life doing that. Man, what a waste. 15 minutes of my life doing that's a waste of time. Again, this is my personal perspective. I'm not trying. I'm actually. Well, this is a horrible apology video, but this is my perspective. I've come to this perspective by observing, being conscious, growing mentally, not growing backwards. At least I hope not. Maybe all the poison that's in the environment around us has affected me, and I have gone retarded or something. But I apologize for my perspective because, I now understand what it is to stand in my perspective. It's not an easy life. That's not an easy perspective to live with day to day. That you're in some sort of trap. You're in a sort of soul trap that creates conflict and feeds off of it somehow. Some people have the ability to hear these entities speak. These entities work through people. I call it a mind virus. Some people call it whatever you want. Satan, Archon, it don't matter. It's a fucking mind virus. But what the fuck was the point? There was a point that I had to make. One sec. It's interesting, guys. Right when I start talking about the mind virus, I lose my train of thought, and I heard one of those cracks or one of those little electrical pops or whatever right as I was getting ready to pause that last clip or whatever, to stop that last clip. But yeah, and it's actually made me lose my train of thought again, to be honest with you. But okay, yeah, that is what's happening really at the end of the day, is the fucking mind virus thing. That's really what's happening, and that's how so many people can get away with so much shit. How nobody ever really does anything about what's going on. It's bizarre. But that's that's what I was saying. That is a bizarre, strange reality to live in. I now understand that completely. So I don't blame any religious person for like finding comfort in that or whatever. Doing that, I don't blame them for doing that because it's a harsh fucking reality to live in. So being honest with it, it's not easy on the human psyche, I don't think. Like if you're just brutally honest with what you see all the time, it's not good on the human psyche. To the point that the human thing creates an imaginary cartoon in their mind and in their belief systems and in their faith and all that to cope with it. To cope with the reality that we're given. I don't blame them for doing that. It's not tough. This still sounds condescending. I'm not being condescending. I'm being genuine. Like, I understand why people do that now. It is tough. This is a tough reality. It's not, I mean, again, just from a basic perspective, if you unclick from everything you ever knew here, let's say you still had your intelligence, but you unclick from all the indoctrination and just looked at the human thing, the way it behaves, you would see what I'm talking about. I don't know how I could describe that to people. I have the ability to do that. Not all the time. Sometimes I myself am plugged into the sort of drama of the Matrix and the pull of the ego and the emotions and all this stupid fucking human shit. But if you can unplug completely, I don't know how to describe it to people, and you look at the way people behave, it's a very odd reality. And I see it as a mental cope. That's exactly what it is. I mean, imagine, again, if you unplug, and then you watched one of the creatures suffering in the reality. Like let's say you wiped everybody's mind, we start over again, and then you were just watching humanity develop as a god outside of it. And then you've seen one of your little creations, creatures, out of nowhere, go and start talking to the air and going, please help me, to nothing. Like the rest of them were all suffering, but one of them just started asking nothing to help it. You would look at that creature as a creature that has lost its mind. You'd be like, what is it talking to? Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like when you unplug from the human experience and look at it from an outside perspective, without all the brain, without all the indoctrination, the beliefs, all the, just become what you were before you got plugged, or what you are without the human body. Spirit, yeah, what you are. What am I saying? Like just be what you are in deep meditation or whatever. Just when you're in complete absence of the human mind and you look at the human race, it's very weird. It's like, what the fuck are they all doing? But some people are going to say it's a spiritual thing. I would say that. I think that we're being attacked by entities we can't see. I don't think that. I know that. There's just the evidence is overwhelming. There's a reason that those things were there in Vietnam and they could see them with the infrared goggles, because they knew it was a fucking feeding frenzy. Because they knew that area was a fucking feeding frenzy. That's why they were hanging out over there. While everyone's human beings killing each other so rich people can laugh and profit. I don't understand the human thing. It's so stupid. It thinks it's being a good guy. I'm killing other people. No, you're being a monster. You're a machine gunner gunning down fucking people, man. What are you? Oh, I'm being patriotic. Like, dude, you had to fly to their country and start shooting them? They ain't even over here yet. You're fucking with them on their fucking land. And like, you think you're being a hero? Well, anyway, don't get me started on how dumb humans can behave. But yeah, I see the mind virus everywhere now. Like, now that I observe it with that perspective, it's so obvious everywhere. It's like, oh, that's why they always get away with it. That's why everybody kind of just falls in line. That's why, but like, it all kind of makes sense, to be honest with you. But that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's a horrible, shitty fucking reality to live in. But I mean, I knew it was a horrible, shitty fucking reality to live in way before I thought it was a mind virus. Well, like again, I said, I always kind of did know that that's what, because it sort of does explain away everything. It's like, oh, so they're just being controlled by something else. It makes perfect sense. It's like something corrupts them, something takes hold of them. That's why celebrities, I think, say, be careful what you wish for. You'll sell your soul, blah, blah. Because I think that they're not going to invest money into that artist. They're going to invest spirit into that artist. And once spirit is invested into that artist, once they've gone to the house of the rising sun and looked in the mirror and did all that creepy shit, and now their soul's gone. It's not that their soul's gone, I don't think. I think that maybe it is. Maybe that, but then why would the demon thing say, be careful, you're going to lose your soul? Like, it wouldn't be telling you about that shit. So they're still in there. But something, I think, takes them over. It's like agreeing to participate in the fucking gamer dude's fucking game or something. I don't know. And all of a sudden you become super talented. You know, you make like classic albums, and then once they're done with you and you lose your power, your entities or whatever that gave you the talent, you can't even make a decent song after that. And I've seen that happen a bunch of times. But it is interesting. It's like something possesses these people. Something takes them over. They themselves tell you about it. I think that's those entities. And I think that by them agreeing to allow these entities within them, they're opening themselves up to something. I mean, I don't know, to make them better musicians, but I think that's the way it works. I think it's like a mind virus thing. It's like, you got to agree to this? You sure you want to do it? Blah, blah. And they're like, yeah. And they don't realize what they're getting into. Maybe it makes them creepy too. Like maybe it makes them want to be child sniffers or something, you know? Maybe it's not them, it's the thing that does it, you know? The thing that's controlling them. I don't know. But that's what I believe. I think that it's like a sort of... This reality's got a mind virus in it, and that thing enjoys tormenting humans. That explains war, suffering, prisons. Like, really, taking a human and just throwing them in a room and fucking leaving them in there for 20 years... I don't know if that rehabilitates. I'm sure there's some examples of it, but man, that would really that sounds like torture. It sounds like you're being tortured. If I was already an angry, violent dude that like bashed some dude skull in for talking shit or something, like, and I'm in prison, you put me in a room, it would just piss me off, I would think. Doesn't seem like a rehabilitation center. Well, they're money-making machines nowadays, which is disgusting, but, or I say nowadays, I think they always were. I really do think we're at the whim of a bunch of Mad Max fucking psychopaths or something, but in a normal reality, that would have never happened. Like, humanity would have been like, yo, what are you guys doing? What did you say in that video, creepy boy? So you like sniffing children? You know, these people would have been dealt with. They would have already been dealt with if the reality was normal, but the reality is not normal. There's a mind virus here that controls not just the bad guys, but the good guys too. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think it's got all of us by the balls. Why does it like tormenting humans? Why isn't there anything good that ever comes out of our leaders? No. When we hear about what our leaders do, it's always some evil, fucked up, demonic shit. But it's never like, look, our leaders did this and it created food for everybody endlessly. Look, our leaders did this and it created water, clean water for everybody for free endlessly. Look, our leaders... Have you guys ever heard a good story coming out? You hear about them like eating babies and drinking baby blood and adrenochrome and ripping people's faces off and doing weird shit. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's what I'm saying. It's a mind virus. How could they all end up being evil like that? Like, it just... They're agreeing to get corrupted by the thing, man. That's what's going on. I mean, I think. I don't know. It makes sense. I mean, wouldn't that make sense, guys? Like... And then once it's done with them, like, the whole world can turn against them. They could die just like that. Like, and they'll find them in a closet. You know, they stabbed themselves in the back, 47 times and then blew their brains out or something, They did the autopsy and found more alcohol in their lungs than in their stomach. Like, they were asphyxiated with it, drowned with vodka. A lot of bad shit happens to a lot of good people in this reality. I've seen it happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Christians actually, like, that's their whole faith is based off of that. The ultimate goodness comes into the Dookie Boy realm and it gets nailed to a fucking cross. That's your religion. And then you pray to something else to help you, which never does. And if good things happen, it's just the coincidence of life. Or the mind virus needed those good things to happen to you for some reason. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But even though, like, this is not an apology video at all. This is not an apology video. This is a fucking... Maybe I should just name the fucking video, like, everything I hate about religious people. 15 years. It's a long time. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I mean, that's the way I feel. I'm not sorry. I mean, that's just the way that I feel. Again, if I was looking at it from, I do look at it all the time from a third person perspective, this human experience thing, and it's very bizarre. Like the dramas, the roles people play, it's so silly and just silly. It's like a play. It's like this weird play, and we're all just participating in it. It's a silly existence. This whole reality is a fucking bizarre, and then everybody creating the mental comfort zones to cope. It's just like, can we fix this motherfucker? Can we fix this motherfucker, please? Like, are we just always going to play their game? Are we always just going to read their books and use their information that's given to us, hand dripped to us? Just like, I'm sick of living under the thumb of these fucking demonic pieces of fucking filth. Can humanity wake the fuck up and fucking do something about this shit? Can we fucking grow a fucking brain and use our logic and come together? You fucking ape monkeys driven by stupidity and lack of logic. God, what the fuck happened to you? Well, the mind virus happened to you people. That's what's going on for sure. There's no way this shit would have happened this way. There's no way this shit would... Dude, I couldn't pull the wool over a fucking... If I wanted to rob a bank, I couldn't get away with that shit. And these motherfuckers pull the wool over the whole of humanity's eyes on a daily basis. How long are you going to believe that lie? That's impossible. That's impossible. What the fuck are y'all talking about? That's impossible. Unless people are controlled. Again, the mind virus could be spiritual. I believe it's spiritual. Because if it was technology, it wouldn't be affected by the emotions of the individual experiencing the presence of these energies. If you start being in a loving mind state, they can't affect you anymore or something. They can't. And that's actually something said by Jerry Marzinsky about the voices too. Like if you're positive, they really don't like it. Again, I'm not hearing voices, but well, no, let me rephrase that. I think we all hear voices. Just some people can actually hear it auditorially. And instead of embracing their gifts and saying, what are the voices saying? And humanity coming together and huddling around to more deeply understand what's going on in these people's minds, they take them from humanity, put them in a fucking box somewhere, and dump them to the gills with shit that actually shrinks their fucking brains. The demons in control of this reality, these fucking demons that are in control of this reality are more evil than any of us can imagine on a fucking level that's just disgusting and grotesque. They, if you observe what they do to humanity, these things are just disgusting, man. And, it's gross everywhere you look. It's gross everywhere you fucking look, man. If you really look into anything with system attached to it, you find out it's kind of corrupt and gross and ugly beneath the surface. Like, man, is this the best? This reality, this humanity thing, it produces this fucking grotesque hellhole that we all agree on. Oh, it's either, that's the point that I was going to make. It's either spirit, which I believe, or it's some sort of technology that's fucking with us. Technology, there are arguments like the nature one, being out in nature away from technology, seems to quiet or calm the mind, and you get less intrusive thoughts when you're not around technology. Don't forget that part. When you're out in nature by yourself, or even with somebody else. When I'm out in nature with other people, I still have a calmer mind. Your mind is more calm. What the fuck's that mean? It's just looking at trees? That's not true. Pull up a picture of some woods and look at it. You ain't gonna feel calm the same way you feel calm out in the fucking woods. So there's something to that. I don't know if it's just being an energetic being around the trees sort of calms the aura or energy field of the energy being. I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. But look, man, it is a dark fucking reality, and there's very rarely good news, man. There's very rarely good news. But again, I sort of always kind of knew what Jerry Marzinski said. I sort of always kind of knew that. That's why I say lately, I feel like I'm living from the future. It's like I'm just remembering shit I already knew or something. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I already knew all this shit. Why am I pretending that I don't know it? Oh, I just thought about it, and I guess I pretended I didn't know, because it is some really crazy shit to believe in, right? Like when you just say it that way, we're existing with a mind virus. Like if somebody would have said that to me, well, not really. Again, I probably would have agreed with them, but I'd have been like, no, it's not a mind virus, it's Satan. I mean, I would have been in my Christian era, or I would have said, probably before that, I probably would have said something's going on with these fucking retards. Because even as a kid, I used to look at adults and be like, are y'all really this stupid? Like, you guys are still talking about like war and shit and I used to look at adults like, what the fuck? Maybe by the time I'm an adult, all this stupid motherfuckers will be gone. But I was wrong, dude. I just like stayed that way. But but it is an interesting ride. Like you can't deny that. Even if you hate reality, you can't deny that it's not interesting. It's definitely interesting, dude. This is super fucking interesting. It's like, what is this place? Like, what? And there's never an answer. You can never. It's weird that you can exist and not know why or how. You plopped in. You're like, what the fuck? Why am I here? All we are is a dash between two dates. At the end of the day, you're a fucking started on this year, ended on this year. You're that little dash. You're just a in and out in this fucking realm. When you think about it like that, it's not that evil of a reality. It's like, oh, it is just like it's like a fart in the wind, this fucking existence, isn't it? Even if you live like 100 years, it's still not that long. It's like, because when you're 30, you're like, man, that shit went by quick. And when you're 40, it's like, man, that shit went by even quicker. And then when you're 50, man, by the time you're 60, you're like, man, I feel like I was 20 just like 10 years ago. You know? Time goes by quick. We're fed off of, and then we're shit out. I know people don't want to think about that, but it is a scary thought. And I also want to create a mental comfort zone to not deal with it. But we may cease to exist one day. Again, I don't agree with that. There's way too... The evidence is overwhelming that the spirit can exist without the body. Over-fucking-whelming. So... But I don't know that. That could all be deception played on me by the same thing deceiving me now. Right? And them. Whoever else had out-of-body experiences. They could be, and not even could be, when you look into that deeply, you find out they are being deceived. The deception's everywhere. Even the astral projection realm or the spirit realm or whatever you want to call it is also deceptive. And that's why I say run from the motherfucking light. I don't know what this place is. I know that this end of it sucked so far. Hey, sure, if reality changes into something cool, that'd be great. But I just don't see it happening. It's a fucking hellhole. And it's always been a hellhole. And it never had to be. So that means that it was constructed as a fucking hellhole. Which means that the thing that's got power in the realm wants it to be a hellhole. Again, I don't agree with that. But that's the way that it fucking is. I hate that shit too. But that's the way that it fucking is. Man, can we stop living in comfort zones and just be brutally honest with this motherfucker? Or are we just going to keep being role players? You guys want to role play a little more? You guys want to put on some more fucking gray robes and go out in the woods? Yes, I believe in this mysticism and this mystical stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then you got this douchebag saying some dumb shit. And then you got this douchebag over here saying, look, and then if we do this on this date because the stars, blah, blah, blah. It's like, man, none of y'all know shit. If y'all knew the shit, you'd be billionaires too. Shut the fuck up. Y'all know nothing about nothing. And that's what I really see. A bunch of people talking shit about some shit. It's like, the reality is never going to be what I want it to be. I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope that believing that doesn't make it my reality. And I'm not in just some like multiverse segment of reality where I could switch up and create my own reality. I wouldn't want to put myself in a hellhole. But man, that's all I've ever seen. And I've been observing it for a long time. It's like, I didn't plug myself into that reality. That reality is the one that's fucking happening. That reality is the one that's fucking happening. And I'm the unfortunate, unconsenting, forced participant into that obviously easily observable hellish realm. But anyways, yeah, this is a Dookie Boy realm, and Looking at it from the third person perspective, I do see religious people as people that have sort of lost their minds. But in the same breath, being in the Dookie Boy realm and being brutally honest with what I observe, it's not a good mind state to be in. So I understand them using that as a code. I'm sorry to any religious person, any Christian, Catholic, Jew, whatever, Muslim. I don't know if I've ever said anything. I usually talk about Christians because that's what I knew and that's what I was. But I still think all of them are believing in things they don't know, which is faith-based, which I'm not interested in faith. I don't want to have faith in an invisible creature to come and save me. I would rather just participate with other logical humans in the reality to come together and figure out how to solve this problem instead of asking a fucking invisible deity to help me. Again, I'm sorry. This is my perspective. I understand your perspective. I even understand why your perspective. Sort of. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.